From V, she plays FBI agent. But you might also recognize her as Dr. Juliet Burt from Nicole. Thanks for coming. So why don't we start? Growing up, were you guys comic book geeks? Were you into sci-fi shows? If so, were there specific characters that you were drawn to? Anyone that comes to mind?
Oh, the cliche. I mean, I used to play Wonder Woman when I was, 4, because I loved the glasses and the outfit. And, I'd run to the end of the street and quickly change and come back. Yes. I mean, boobs when you call it.
So I thought there was more women to look up to in the Disney animated films, I mean, that was the one when I was younger, and those were the only heroines I knew. I mean, besides when I was even a little bit older, and, Feldman, I thought that kind of rocked.
What about you girls?
Yeah, I mean, I love anything involving women in action. I think the most iconic one to me would be like Superman Weaver and Alien when I saw that. I became pretty obsessed with that and kind of in love with her.
Sure.
And playing on the Disney aspect too, it's just Mulan was always something, a story that got me to really want to go out there and just, stand up for what I really believed in.
Right.
And stay true to myself.
Now, in the roles you are currently playing, were there roles that you fought for and you went after, or were they parts that fell into your lap? Elizabeth?
I was just laughing because I was thinking about how hard I fought for Juliet, and then the fighting came after for me with Erica, trying to figure out who she is and what to do and that sort of thing. But I remember I auditioned like 7 times for Juliet, and with Erica they offered the part to me, and that was more terrifying because, you say that? Yeah. So because it actually felt somehow like maybe I wanted to show what I could do first, so it was a bit off-putting for me, but then really great at the end of it. So no, it seemed to me that I was the only kind of 40-year-old at the time. That might work really well. We'll see.
And Anna, what about you? Did you have to audition for Fringe?
Yeah, I have to, yeah, I think it was one of the easiest auditions I've actually ever done. I auditioned when I was in Australia, and I loved it. Because I think I sometimes think if you have to go in 7 times, then there's something that they're not, and I always get paranoid that they're not quite sure, but if you go in once or twice, then you go, oh, you fit whatever it is that they're looking for.
And
I'll try to adopt that.
I don't know. You can go in 20 times and get the offer straight up. It's always a fight. Whether the fight starts in the beginning at the audition or in the editing room or on the 5th week in the middle of the job. I mean, you got to find some fight. Sucker Punch was it was a bit of a fight. We had to show them a lot of different aspects. But I think once I got in the room with Zach, it just sort of fell into pieces. Like perfect placement.
did you know what he was looking for?
I had no idea. I try not to read about that. Everyone tells you, your agent, well, I think they're doing this, and then, everyone else says this, and then there's these people going in for this, and you can't help but just bring what you bring to the table. I've never really been into, being an apple and trying to sell them an orange, so, but yeah, it worked out. Woo!
Anything ever really falls into your lap. I think you have to always work hard to, be successful, and I think success is not effortless, and I think with this role, I really felt a connection with her from the very beginning, and just this need to play just this girl who's just trying to find her place in this crazy world, and I thought that's something that I really connected with, and I just tried to be myself in the audition, and that's what kind of came through, and I think that's how it all worked out.
Yeah, definitely. And Mary?
My situation is kind of ironic because
because of all of the parts that I've played, Ramona is the one that I would have fought the most for and the hardest for, and it's one of the only parts I've ever been offered without auditioning.
Wow.
So it was really strange and shocking to me. I did have several meetings with Edgar and several lengthy discussions and things like that, and I kept expecting to be okay. I would even say, like, okay, let me know when you want me to come in and read, or you want me to read with Michael, and they ended up offering to me, and I was just really confused and shocked because that never happens. And I think it's a testament to Edgar's imagination that he trusted me enough to know that I could do it.
And why would that have been the one role you would have fought for? What about Ramona?
It's by far the coolest character I've ever played. I mean, she's so enigmatic and interesting and strong, and she gets to kick ass, and she takes care of herself, and she's there's also like a real kind of tragic sensibility to her, and so she's just so layered and interesting, and you never get the chance to play parts like that, not enough at least.
Right. Now, do you guys find today in Hollywood that because this type of projects, the sci-fi genre types of projects, are the dominant form of entertainment, that you really need to open yourself up to sci-fi, even if it's not something that's inherently interesting, in order to have a successful career? I mean, do you find that because it's so dominant now today, it's type of entertainment?
I love good dominant.
Yeah.
I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I imagine I must feel differently, but to me, I've always thought like there's amazing women in sci-fi. There's amazing women in books. In sci-fi books, there seems to be kind of a wealth of imagination and support for that, and I've always loved that. I've always gravitated towards that. I was brought up with a bunch of women, never told that there was anything I couldn't do, and I feel like sci-fi echoes that.
Yeah. Now, Ellen, you're a trained martial artist, is that correct?
I'm training, yeah.
But did it help in your auditions that you had a background in Taekwondo?
Definitely. I train in Taekwondo, and I also have been starting to get into weapons and acrobatics as well, which is really cool, and wushu. So I think that, yeah, it definitely helped the audition process, because it's funny, for one of the auditions, I didn't expect this. I walked in and Edgar was like, okay, so here are the lines that you have to do. I noticed that you also train Taekwondo. Can you just throw in a few kicks? Well, and so I'm in the hallway thinking, like, not only do I have to just go through these lines and memorize them and go back in there and deliver them, but at the same time I'm trying to think of choreography in my head. And it's funny because I'm going through this in the hallway at the casting office, and this guy walks by and he's just like, wow, we've really upped our hall monitors here. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it definitely really helped, for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Now, you all must read a ton of scripts. Are there common cliches that you find that Hollywood screenwriters write with these types of characters? And have you noticed that female screenwriters write differently than male screenwriters for strong female characters?
I have to say, okay, and maybe this will put me at odds, but I feel like a good screenwriter is a good screenwriter. I really do feel like there are people who the words leap off the page, and it is incredibly easy to fall into what you're doing. It's incredibly, you look at it and you know exactly what to do. And I've had that come from women, and I've had that come from men. I love it when a man writes a really wonderfully strong, complex woman. It means that he's watching women, which is always nice, kind of sexy. And I also love the intricacies that women can bring to the fact that they know. I'd like to go to a female doctor. It's nice to have a female writer. But I think it's just, how good they are, how talented they are, how excited they are and passionate they are about who they're working with, the material they're working with.
Anyone else want to chime in on that one?